About 1 week of grinding into the new season, and I've already reached All-Star on support for the first time, getting Mercy and the Juno All-Star skin. Funny enough, doing this actually got the official Overwatch Twitter/X account to give me a free code for Season 17's Ultimate Battle Pass. I already owned it though, so I gave the code to a friend who really wanted the Sigma skin and thought the Widow skin looked really cool. I'm still very thankful they gave me the code, and hey, the friend I gave it to made this neat little artwork for me, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, I think after hitting Pro on DPS last season and playing a lot more tank this season too, I think it's a good time to give my overall thoughts about Stadium for Overwatch. If you don't know me, I'm Rosalina. I mostly play a PvE mode man vs machine in a game called Team Fortress 2. I was really excited for Overwatch 2's PvE mode, but unfortunately that PvE mode never came to be properly, and by the end of 2024 I was going to be done with Overwatch as the PvE basically seemed to be cancelled at that point, and I wasn't having fun with PvP either, so I was just ready to call quits on the game. Then February hit, and we got the Overwatch 2 spotlight, and at first, all the things they announced didn't sound like my cup of tea, but when Season 15 hit, bringing in the perks and the return of loot boxes, I started to have a lot more fun with the base game again, and made me more open-minded to what was about to come in Season 16, which was Stadium. Now, having put over 45 hours into the mode and changes that's happened in Season 17, I feel confident on giving my honest thoughts about the mode and how it might hold up in the coming months. So let's start with the positive with the mode. So I want to start off with the best part of Stadium first, the announcer. Oh my god, whoever this character is, I want a whole animated shot on their life because I love this guy so much. They bring so much life and joy into this mode, and I honestly want to hear him more. Put him in actual competitive. I want to hear this man announce. Okay, I'm kidding about them being the best part of Stadium, though everything else I still said, that still holds true. Besides maybe adding him to competitive, I think it might be a bit too distracting there, but he's a fun addition in Stadium, brings a lot of life to the mode, so I can't wait to hear more, and hopefully we get more lines of him. And we learn more about his character, because he just seems like a very fun character to like. I want to know more about this character. But I think the best part of Stadium for me right now is that no hero currently feels completely useless. While I think some heroes are weaker than others, I feel we can make some good builds with them to make it work out still. So, in my opinion, I think Ashe is pretty weak in Stadium, but she's still got some really good builds to make it work, so it doesn't feel like picking a hero that's seen as weak or bad really throws the game. It's just a matter of working with what you've got and making a build that will work for the current state of the game. That's another fun thing about Stadium, builds. Not only was it fun to see all the powers and items you can get, but just sitting in the practice range and seeing what crazy, dumb, or overpowered builds you can make, it's great. Now with Season 17, you can even save and share builds, which is such a nice feature. It makes the game feel just a bit more social, and it does make Stadium games go faster now, because now you can have all the powers and perks you want into a build, and you just have to click on the build to get what you need. It definitely increases the speed of the wait times, which is very good. A fun build I like is D.va, which fully focuses on her micro missiles. With the right items, you can get over 100 ability power and just melt your enemies like they're butter. I usually prefer playing tank in 6v6, but playing tank in Stadium with 5v5 has been refreshing to have fun on tanks I've enjoyed without having to play 6v6. Hey, another mode to enjoy tank on is a plus for me. Powers for most heroes are also super well done. Even the more basic sounding powers can be so much fun to use. Example, Mercy's Kaposia Circle, which heals and damage boosts everyone in Valkyrie in your line of sight. Even if you don't have your staff out, meaning you can fly around and gun people down while still providing healing and damage boost. We can finally be the true mobs we always wanted to be while still protecting the whole team. This is amazing. I've been enjoying that so much. Just gunning down people who don't expect me to do that, and also still providing support to my team. This is the true Moth I've always wanted to be. I am so happy about this power. Now, Blizzard, please add a Moth skin to Mercy. She deserves one. I need to be a menace as a Moth. The biggest shock to me with Stadium is how often balance changes and patches come out for the mode. Powers, items, cash gain, game rules being tweaked at a very fast pace. It's kind of refreshing since base Overwatch usually only gets 2 to 3 balance patches in a season. Now with perks in the base game too, it seems characters changes aren't as common as well. So the constant balancing for the mode and listening to feedback is very nice. Although I do think balancing so much all the time can lead down to bad decisions or even confusion when one week one power is fine and the next it's completely changed. Not everyone can keep up with patch notes. Yeah, I think it's time to talk about a few negatives I have with the mode, and I'll be real, most of these negatives aren't game ruining, more just nitpicks of personal disappointments. One of the issues that I just briefly talked about already is balancing. Another thing I'm seeing right now with balance is weird choices. It seems they would rather buff than nerf mates, which is fine if the hero overall is underpowered, but in the case of Zarya, she has a really strong build most people seem to pick, but instead of nerfing the build, they just buff the rest of the kit. I think I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to make people stop using the really strong kit and use other, strategies. But the issue is now that you still have this really strong kit, and now the rest of her kit is now strong, so now you got to the point of her feeling way too powerful and honestly quite annoying to deal with. But the thing is, it also feels very inconsistent too. Jungle Queen had a really fun build to go up and against, and they nerfed it while also still buffing her weaker powers. So it makes no sense to me. Which way do you want to go about it? Do you want to nerf the strong kit and then buff the weaker kit, or do you just want to buff everything else and keep the strong kit strong? I really wish they would make up their mind on what they want to do with that, but it does seem like they might be changing their thought process on this, because recently the clone Kiriko build that everyone was using did massively get nerfed, so hopefully they are changing their philosophy on how they're going to balance powers and the game mode as a whole, because it was annoying just seeing some characters get nothing but buffs, and then some characters basically getting nothing but nerfs on their strong powers, and then little buffs to their weaker powers. My biggest annoyance with the mode right now though are being matched up with new players or people who are way higher or lower than my current rank. I get Stadium as a new mode, and while a lot more casual than normal competitive, it's still a competitive mode, so letting rookie players be able to join pro lobbies feels a bit silly to me, as well as being paired up with people who have only had 10 hours on the game. I'm hoping with the introduction of the casual version of Stadium, they'll put something in place for newer players to play Stadium casually first before being able to dive headfirst into the competitive Stadium. I think it will make the experience a lot better, but right now it just kind of feels a bit of a mess having to basically play with all these different skill levels. I really wish the matchmaking was just a bit better in Stadium. Next is looking skins to All-Stars. Hey, I did say most of these negatives are nitpicks and personal. Look, I understand wanting to give people a reward for reaching a higher rank, and that is fine, but I personally don't like the idea of them being skins. Name cards, titles, sprays, competitive points, and icons were a neat reward that showed how well you did. Personally, I don't think skins should be gatekept behind a rank, especially if you only have around 2 months to reach said rank. Who knows if All-Star Juno or Mercy will return? Ever. If they do return, how far in the future is that going to be? We don't know. While I quite like the elite skins, as they seem to be unlockable forever, and they don't need to be the second highest rank in the game to earn them, I feel it's more durable for the average player. It doesn't seem like we're getting any more elite skins though, which is a shame, as I would like to see more of them personally. I will say a bit more on the positive side, it does seem they made it easier to get into All-Star rank. Last season in Season 16 when Stadium came out, I reached Pro on support and I was basically got hard stuck there because winning didn't feel like you got enough points to rank up, while losing basically took away all the work you just did. Now it feels more even. For one win, it takes around 3 losses to lose all that progress made from that one win. So now it feels so much easier to actually climb through Pro and get into All-Stars. So that is a bit on the more positive side. They have seemed to make it more durable to get into All-Stars, but still, personally, I still don't like locking skins behind high ranks. I don't mind skins being an Elite. I think Elite is easy to get to, but I know some people will still struggle to get into Pro and then past Pro into All-Stars. I still don't really personally like having a skin at the second highest rank, but, well, you know, if they made it easier to get into All-Stars, then I guess it's not as bad, but still, me personally, I don't like locking skins behind certain ranks. And the last thing that disappointed me was progression. The only badge your hero levels up in Stadium is time played and wins, which really sucks. I understand why. With Stadium powers and items making you so strong, it'll be super easy to max out all the badges in one game, but I feel like something could have been done here at least to let the badges to keep progressing. Maybe making it so Stadium has a higher cap needed to reach before badge level up, or reducing the amount of progress you get. For example, 1000 healing in Stadium is equal to around like 500 healing towards the badge. I don't know, I think progression in general is a big problem right now with Overwatch, and having this new mode basically only have 2 badges on your heroes be progressed is kind of silly. This could be happening though, as they did mention in a recent blog post that they want to make changes to progression and add new rewards for it, so hopefully that includes a way to progress the badge in Stadium and maybe make leveling up feel less grindy, as it feels like a chore right now to basically level up any high level character. So what's next for Stadium? Well, they gave us a roadmap a little bit ago to show us what the current plans are for Stadium, and it all seems pretty promising. Payload Race Mode seems like a lot of fun for Stadium, and it seems now they're going to wait a bit longer before putting new heroes in Stadium, which is a good call. Let people learn the hero in the base game first, make balance changes there, and then when it's been a little bit, that's when they should be added into Stadium, a little bit later down the line. Later down the line as well, they want to add things like consumables, which sounds quite interesting. I'm not sure how that would work, but I'm sure it would make the gameplay of Stadium feel a lot more refreshing and a bit more unpredictable. It seems they've got big plans for Stadium, and honestly I'm quite hyped to see what they do. Stadium is such a good addition to the game. Having this big alternative mode to play if you're a bit bored of the base Overwatch experience is refreshing and nice. And even with my personal issues with the mode, I just hope Stadium keeps getting good quality updates and the devs keep listening to feedback, which it seems to be what they're doing at the moment. So hopes are high it stays that way for the foreseeable future. Anyway, that's all for me about Stadium. What do you guys think of Stadium? Let me know in the comments down below. Or, if you're someone who has never played Overwatch, does Stadium seem interesting to you, and do you want to give Stadium a try? I've been Rosalina. I'll see you all next time.